How's the royal family? I pray that everyone is doing well. Well, my royal family, I wanted to talk about this movie, Black Panther. So last night, me and my husband went out and seen it. And we seen it in 3D, actually. It was a very good movie. Very, very good. It had a lot of deep messages to the royal family. Now, you know, we're always going to hear the negativity because of the system that we live in. And, you know, there are people, which I do agree with, they are exploiting us. And they are funding it. Now, all these companies, these big, huge corporations, they're racist. So that's established. That is established. All those negative things that we can talk about, we already know about that. But I'm tapping into the spiritual meaning of this movie. Now, ultimately, this movie came out because of our Father. And he used what he can use in order to put the messages out to the entire world. And I don't dismiss who's funding it, who's behind all of it. I don't dismiss that at all. So I want that to be well established, that I'm not getting all excited over a movie to the point where I dismiss who is behind it. But also, our Father is using them because this is their dead system. They the one that got the money to, it's like they're being controlled. Even though they're greed, yeah, I want to get the money, they don't give a damn about us. But see, at the box office, they ain't paying off anymore. So, what I was thinking about here in my royal family is I made a point last week to really research this movie. And I was astounded myself that what they put into it, with the costume designing, how the sister that designed the costumes, how she did her research, went to Akibalan, checked different tribes, and incorporated in the movie. And how the cast, everybody had to do their studying about Black Panther. Because the comic book came out in 1966. And also study truth about Wakanda. Now, I had said in a video I did a few weeks ago that when they put the word myth out, that's like, oh, this is not real. This is very real, my royal family. So I had put a video out a couple of days ago about technology, science, energy. I don't quite know how I label it. I do so many videos. And then I was saying to the royal family, there is nothing new under the sun. And then I was saying, okay, this technology, energy is not new. It's not at all. And it's a possibility that what I say is, now I'm going to just speak truth. I feel like this technology that we have is antiquated. And we in the royal family, because we the first of everything, had already used this type of technology well in advance. This is very antiquated because in order to build those pyramids, and they did the measurements and did everything in the exact cuts, it would require some type of energy and high technology. And also, we were thinking on a higher being. We're thinking on the lower now because we are in this cesspool. And you can pull yourself out of it. That's how greatly we've been affected. I think they say we use about 3 to 7% of our brain. So could you imagine back during those times, folks that use 60 or 70% of their brain, or possibly even 100%, looking at the artifacts and the ruins throughout the globe. So anyway, my royal family, now what stood out to me in this movie was the purple serum that they gave the brother Black Panther and what it would do for him. That really stood out. I was like, wow, that's deep. That stuff purple. That's our colors. That's our royal colors. And that did not happen by accident. I seen quite a bit of purple royalty. Those colors stand out to me. And so the plant, what was this purple serum that this brother was drinking? What was it doing for him? Well, I have a video to show the royal family that's going to wig you out. So let's listen to a little bit of this about a very special plant.
I gave you this leaf. And what did you say to me? What you say to me, Rich, when I handed it to him?
About KT, you getting real spooky on me. You coming through with a leaf like it got special powers, man. I don't know, KT.
For real. He was like, yo, what is this? What am I supposed to do with this, son? Like, and I was like,
smoke it, crush it, roll it.
What do you do? I was like, yo, this is the electric joint. But he was still looking at it like, okay, like, I don't get it.
Right.
So last year about this time, we did a video called Herbs Doctors Don't Want You to Know About. And on there, that's where I debuted for the first time that I had found a leaf that creates electricity. So a lot of people have, you know, reached out since that time, like, yo, what's the name of it? How do I da-da-da-da-da? So when I just came back from Bermuda, from a trip in Bermuda, I did a lecture called Island Gold out there. I found that the leaf was growing on the island, and I brought some back. I wanted to specifically bring some to Rich so I could show him, because it's like Rich appreciates all this information, but at the same time, he represents the community. So he's not just gonna go off the fact that I know what I know and I'm smart and all that and just roll with what I say. Like, Rich needs to see it. You know what I'm saying? So I had to make sure I brought him a leaf and he could go through this experience and he could tell you, you know what I'm saying, from his own perspective. But this is called bryophyllum. Okay, and I call it the E-leaf. It got different names: life plant, miracle plant, you know, it grows in the tropical regions. Now, if you notice, this plant has nodules all over. Matter of fact, you can see these kind of black little dots in all the nodules. That's melanin. This plant is like a stem cell. When you were ectoderm, mesoderm, and endoderm, where you were nothing but like stem cells separating into organizations in your body, this plant actually represents kind of a suspended animation of that state with just endless stem cells, okay? Now, if you take this leaf and leave it on a counter, a wet napkin, or in the window, what's gonna end up happening is roots are gonna grow out of each one of these nodules, okay? After the roots grow, after about 2-3 days, then a sprout is gonna form in from each one of the roots. After the sprout forms, then 2 leaves are going to sprout out from the stem. And that means that from one leaf, you'll have the ability to produce anywhere between 18 and 36 plants from a leaf. Not from a seed, not putting it in the soil, just the leaf, leaving it alone. It will grow its own plants out of the leaf.
I gotta try this.
Oh no, you're gonna, because I'm giving it to you. Now, if you juice the leaf and you pour the juice in a container, such as a battery case, and you get zinc and copper electrodes, these are just strips of zinc and strips of copper, and you put them inside of the juice that is inside of the battery case and you connect them with copper wires, you will induce voltage. I used a beer cup. You know them red cups that y'all use at all the crazy parties? I took one of them red beer cups, party cups, poured it full of the juice, put a zinc and copper electrode in it with a wire, and I made 6 volts and 1 amp. Now, if I create a series of those, you know what I'm saying, then I can increase amperage, I can increase voltage. 1 kilogram of this plant equates to 20 kilowatt hours of electricity. So y'all look at y'all electric bill so you can see the kilowatt hours of your home, and then you can find out how many pounds of this will equate. You see? So let's add all this together now. I have a leaf that reproduces itself, which means if you have one plant that has 20 leaves on it, each one of those leaves can push out 20 plants. Then you got to multiply that 20 by 20. That's how many plants now you done created. But then when you get that amount, then you could take each leaf from them plants and grow 20, 30 plants. So you got an endless supply of plant. You juice it, and then you pour the juice inside of a battery you created, and now you have electricity. So this is an electric plant. This is a never-ending plant. Now, I'm not even going to talk about the fact that if you eat this plant, that it helps your kidneys, that it dissolves kidney stones. I'm not going to talk about if you heat this up and you put a little castor oil on a burn or a wound and lay the leaf on it, that, oh, the wound's going to heal in half the time. I could send y'all a picture. Most people don't know this past year, I broke my wrist. I did a whole lot of presentations people didn't even know. I used this leaf along with salve and sea moss, and I got my wrist back. And I can send Rich the image of my wrist where it looks like there's a baseball in my arm. You know what I'm saying? So I'm saying all this to say that when we look at this movie that's going to blow up, and everybody that we know in our community is going to go see it, we're going to find out that he got his powers from a heart-shaped herb. That this is the one superhero, as powerful as he is. Did he get bit by a radioactive spider? Did he get some drugs injected into him? You know what I mean? Did he build some type of external suit? Did he get beamed with radiation? No. He ate the herb, bruh, and became the king. You see what I'm saying? So, I say all that to say that in a little bit over a month in Atlanta, Georgia, I will not only be screaming.
Okay, my royal family, I'm going to shut that down. I will put this video in the thread because somebody might want to watch the whole thing. So here is the plant, my royal family. The very plant that they are talking about in the movie Black Panther, that I have never seen this in my life, that this plant grows essentially itself. Look at those leaves. Isn't that profound, my royal family? So my point of pointing this out, my royal family, that there is a lot of truth in this movie, and we cannot let our true enemies sway our thinking. We do what we do. We do our research. We search it out and find out more about this plant. So, I'm going to give y'all a little taste more. Listen to this, brother. It's slightly over a minute.
Long word, bryophyllum panatum. It's a plant. As a matter of fact, many scientists and many people believe that that plant is the life plant, the tree of life, the miracle plant, the wonders of the world, the resurrection plant, and all of these names. However, for centuries people have been using this wonderful plant for all type of illnesses, pressure problems, diabetes, heart problems, and all these things. And it has worked. However, one of the things that interests me about bryophyllum panatum is the cardiac glycosides that it possesses. And studies have shown that a lot of these foods that you eat that are from the plant is better than when you get it when it's synthetic. And we use digoxin and digitoxin, which are cardiac glycosides, for heart failure. People who've got weak heart, it strengthens their heart. Not only the strength, but increases blood flow to your heart and make your heart healthier.
Wow. That is some good information, my royal family. Let me go back here. So that was something that, there was many things that stood out to me in the movie, but I couldn't dismiss that particular part of the movie because I said, that's some real stuff. So my driving point of the movie is, don't get caught up in that unquote word myth. And we already know why. I'm not insulting the royal family's intelligence. That's just so we won't think good about self, because they really don't want this to succeed. And it's like anything we put our hands on, most likely it will succeed, because we're going to deliver. And our royal family that is into entertainment, they delivered fully. It was a chilling feeling to have a world like that. And I said to my husband, there's got to be a world out there like that, where we are self-contained, we don't worry about the enemy at all, and we are just living peacefully and comfortable in the kingdom. That will be here so quick that it will even surprise myself. That all we can do at this point is elevate. And we have seen the enemy elevate, and he can't elevate no further. He's going to regress. And we cannot apologize for elevating. My royal family, the message in this movie is continue to elevate, continue to stay God focused, continue to have faith that we will get out of this cesspool. Realize who and what we truly is. I keep saying, in the spiritual world, we have won the war. We truly have. Everything else we are dealing with is stall tactics, trying to hold us back. They holding on for dear life. And then what do our Father do? He uses many of them, their institutions and their businesses, and they might feel a certain amount of guilt, which just a twinge, because it's all about that money and that power, and they show us in a positive light. There is propaganda around it. You know, the white guys that was in it wasn't necessary. We don't need them to validate us. That's how I take it. That the white boy, the main white boy, he was there to validate. See, they always throw that in. I don't lose sight of different things like that. And I say, oh, here we go. You know, you got to have one of them that validate us. We don't need your validations. You're nothing more than a beast. Our validations will come from our Father. We are here to please our Father. We are not here to please you in this cesspool. So I just want to leave it like that. I'm going to go back and see it again. That's rare for me. I just love seeing us standing royal. So my royal family, render your voice like you always do with your beautiful divine words. And as always, my royal family, I thank you for your love. I thank you for your support. And with that said, Ashe.